Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is a two-part video. I have a more natural, sort of daytime appropriate, soft, ethereal look that I then transition into this more intense nighttime, for lack of a better word, look. It's a very exciting video for me. So I have a friend on Instagram whose username is punks_not_pretty. She asked me to do a collaboration with her on Instagram. I love her page. She does colorful, blown out, beautiful looks. I really hope you go and follow her if you aren't already. I wouldn't be surprised if most of you are already following her. But if you're not, definitely go check her out. She created some amazing looks for our collaboration. Basically, I am doing a cool tone look and she is doing a warm tone two-parter look. Let's get this video started. Use some S33 brush and pick up this shade right here. I've already primed my lids using my Viseart eyeshadow base. I'm using the very tip of the brush and applying very light feather-like pressure to create a wisp of color. I'm going to start to sweep this out towards my temple. Sorry, it's storming right now. I absolutely love storms. So glad I let chunkers out while we had a little bit of a respite for a second there. Apply underneath the eye and sweep it out. G27 to pack on pigment a little bit more strongly. This color, it's one of my favorites in the palette. I'm going to start to lightly pack this onto the lid. Getting such vintage vibes with these colors, don't you think? Like that pastel just reminds me of like a 50s kitchen color scheme. I'm just sort of sweeping it across. Okay, to intensify right in this portion, my S33 to get a more blending type of situation going on. So just very lightly layering that on top of that transition between the pistachio and blue. G27 peacock. Bring that along the lower lash line. Again, just using a light hand, getting in between those lashes. Creates a little bit more definition. To bring out a little bit more periwinkle, I suppose, I'm going to take this color, denim blue, and take a tiny bit of the magenta, which has a little bit of a cool tone to it, and add a bit of the very pale blue, periwinkle, lavender mixture, a nice pastel version. Push this into the inner area here. I'm like completely amusing myself with these colors right now. Okay, and I'm going to pack that onto the inner corner using a bit more of the lightest blue than the ratio we just used. With soft looks like this, how you end up concealing around the look can make or break the look. So I'm going to walk you through how I would do it. Nothing new, but you know, when you're working with sheer layers of color where you're letting the skin show through, it really is more seamless if you put your concealer on first. But because I know these shades have a little bit of fallout, not that much, but a a little bit. I want to be able to clean that up before putting concealer. By the way, this is just a Morphe brush and the number has rubbed off, but any clean brush would do to just blend around the edges of the look. I'm actually going to take a little bit of the pale yellow with this Morphe brush just as a redness canceller underneath the brow here. Just brightens that up. Not really as a color element or anything. And I have a lot to conceal today. Let me tell you. We've got an intense lupus rash constellation going on my face. It's not terrible. It's just like it stings a little bit, but it's not that bad. Okay, I'm going to clean up and apply some base makeup. Okay, so for concealer, I'm taking two that don't match me. The MAC Studio Water Weight Concealer in NC20 is much too dark for me, and the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer in Y21 is much too light. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix the two. I'm gonna use my favorite concealer brush, the Sephora Pro Airbrush Concealer in 57. Start applying it away from the eye look, and once most of the product been used up off of the brush, then I'm going to start going towards the eyes. So now I feel like I don't have much product on the brush itself, so I'm going to start to blend it closer to the eyes in back and forth motions, trying to never over apply the concealer. That way we keep that nice blend going. I'm going to allow spots to show through. I'm just doing a sheer layer of concealer. My reasoning is we can always spot conceal, and it's better to spot conceal right where we need it than to do a thick layer over skin we don't need the concealer. Now, I know I'm concealing before I do foundation, and the reason I'm doing that today is because of how sheer and blown out my eye look is and how much I have to conceal. I have a lot of discoloration going on. So usually, you know, the foundation would take care of most of it, but I need a little bit more today. I haven't used this Dior Forever Skin Glow in a hot minute, so I'm gonna today, using my Chikuhodo GSN 5 brush, I'm using more of a patting motion to apply this foundation lightly all over without disturbing what concealing we've done so far. I'm going to use a potted concealer for pinpoint concealing. This is my Vanilla Soft Matte Complete Concealer from NARS, and I'm going to use my Isom T09 brush and just take down whatever little spots are still peeking through. I like to go at them from different directions to make sure it's fully covered according to its texture. And then I like to blend out around the edges of each spot. Okay, so now that I've done all my spot concealing, I'm going to go ahead and set my makeup using my Charlotte Tilbury powder. Set around the eyes first and over all my spots. Morphe brush. I'm just going to go ahead and buff some of this powder up over the edges of the eyeshadow. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take my Isom Dual Eye Pencil Aubergine, put this in this upper waterline and work it in between the lashes as well to create some natural looking definition. And just like with pinpoint concealing, to work liner in between the lashes, you kind of have to go from different directions. So I recommend sort of wiggling the pencil back and forth in different directions to get in between all those lashes. Taking my e.l.f. small smudge brush, once it sets, it's not budging. I'm smudging it a little bit more on the outer third to lift the eye. If you ever feel like you put too much, just go ahead and take a bit more of that green and blend it right on top. My joints are killing me today. It's really taking me out. I decided to just put a little mascara on the outer edges. I'm gonna go ahead and use my Tom Ford Skin Illuminating Powder Duo in Incandescent. I use the Esam T49 brush. I'm going to this blush shade and just lightly use a patting motion so I don't disturb all that spot concealing I laid down already. I'm going to skip the highlight for now. Come back to it when we do our nighttime look. Pat McGrath Paraphernalia lip gloss. Since we're so matte, I figured why not do a gloss lip? So here is my first look. Very soft and ethereal. We've got some pastels and very vintage. Okay, let's bump everything up for nighttime. I'm gonna first start by adding more eyeshadow. This shade over here, W21, just to really intensify. I'm gonna take a bit of this cyan, pat that into the center, overlapping the peacock color. My goal is to make this a bit more watercolor. Oh, I hope you can see. Let me zoom you in. So I think I'm going to go in with some Esam Pro Mixing Medium and allow these matte shades to sort of seep out. So with the Esam Pro Mixing Medium, I'm applying sort of inconsistently, creating this watercolor effect. Do you see how I'm creating almost like water stains? And the key to creating this effect is by using a little bit more of the Esam mixing medium than you normally would. So the ratio is real wet. It creates these cool blots, rings of color. And I'm not trying to make the look symmetrical because that would just be, I think, a waste. This is more of an organic look. I almost like twist the brush to create these different shapes. We're gonna add falsies and everything so that it looks real dramatic. Isn't that fun? Go with lavender color we made at one point with the very light blue, a little bit of fuchsia, and a little bit of the denim blue. I think I'm going to use the most light blue, second most fuchsia, and just a dash of denim blue. And a drop of the mixing medium to create this periwinkle. I just added a bit more mixing medium because I feel like we want the formula to be really wet. I'm going to do these little splotches over here. With pastel shades, they don't ink out the same way, so I'm not going to do too many of those. But I want to do one more, I think with a smaller brush. With another no-name Morphe brush, I'm going to take a bit of the lime green right here and do the same thing. Mostly getting it on the outer half of the look. To intensify the lower lash line, I'm going to take maybe this shade up here. Why not? On my G27 and smoke it under the center of the lower lash line. And with a bit of the fuchsia, I'm going to blend that into the inner third and into the corner. And then I'm going to switch to my S33 and pick up the cyan and yeah, blend the lower edge. And you can actually go right over the ink splotches. It's not gonna move or anything. The Epsom mixing medium is really good and waterproofs everything. With a bit of the lightest blue, I'm gonna brighten the inner corner a bit. Up into the brow bone a little bit. Just making the whole look a little bit more blown out. And now I'm gonna really load on the mascara and put my magnetic Ardell accent lashes on the outer edges. Okay, I thought maybe a few like spots would be cute. So with the liner we used earlier, I am just putting a couple little details here and there. Mostly on the outer third here. And then I have a white liner from Linda Hallberg. And if I put a few more on the inner third. I want to apply some highlight from the duo we used earlier. Add a little bit of glow. This highlighter gets really intense really fast, so I'm trying to be light-handed. While I like this lip with this look, I think I'm going to switch it up. I'm actually thinking of using Vera, NARS Audacious Lipstick.